Welcome to At Home with Music. As I record this video, we're entering that time of year, the Christmas season. Let's take a look today at one of the most famous Christmas carols ever written, one that will be sung in countless churches in the coming days. And that carol is O Little Town of Bethlehem. This carol is based on a text written in 1868 by Philip Brooks, an Episcopal priest. It was written when he was rector of the Church of the Holy Trinity in Philadelphia. In 1865, he visited the village of Bethlehem, and 3 years later was inspired to write this poem for the church, and the church organist, Louis Redner, added the music. The interesting thing about many hymns and Christmas carols is that the text almost always came first, and then either a tune was written for it, or an existing tune was found that would fit the lyrics, fit the text. The tunes themselves even had separate names. Redner's tune is titled St. Louis, and this is the tune most often used in the United States when we sing this carol. Mr. Redner tells the story. As Christmas of 1868 approached, Mr. Brooks told me that he had written a simple little carol for the Christmas Sunday school service, and he asked me to write the tune to it. The simple music was written in great haste and under great pressure. We were to practice it on the following Sunday. Mr. Brooks came to me on Friday and said, "Redner, have you ground out that music yet to O Little Town of Bethlehem?" And I replied, "No, but that he should have it by Sunday." On the Saturday night previous, my brain was all confused about the tune. I thought more about my Sunday school lesson than I did about the music. But I was roused from sleep late in the night, hearing an angel strain whispering in my ear. And seizing a piece of music paper, I jotted down the treble of the tune, as we now have it. And on Sunday morning, before going to church, I filled in the harmony. Neither Mr. Brooks nor I ever thought the carol or the music to it would live beyond that Christmas of 1868. My recollection is that Richard Macaulay, who then had a bookstore on Chestnut Street west of 13th Street, printed it on leaflets for sale. Reverend Dr. Huntington, rector of All Saints Church, Worcester, Massachusetts, asked permission to print it in his Sunday school hymn and tune book called The Church Porch, and it was he who christened the music St. Louis. This famous Christmas carol actually has another tune titled Forest Green, and that tune is often used in the United Kingdom and sometimes in the United States. This tune, Forest Green, was adapted by the composer Ralph Vaughan Williams from an English folk ballad called The Plowboy's Dream. Vaughan Williams had collected this tune from a Mr. Garman of Forest Green, Surrey, in 1903, and then he adapted it into a hymn tune and harmonized it, added the soprano, alto, and tenor bass parts, and it was first published in the English Hymnal of 1906. Let's take a look at these two tunes. And then, as a bonus, there is a third tune, which I will introduce to you. As I'm reading from my copy of the Trinity Hymnal, hymn number 201, this is the St. Louis tune of O Little Town of Bethlehem. So you can see we're in the key of F. And right away you notice that this tune contains a lot of what we would call chromaticism. So the tune goes down half a step, and then you see the tenor part going up half a step. So right away we can see that this is a very romantic sounding tune. And then the second line, this kind of non-harmonic tone in the melody gives it a very yearning kind of sound. More chromaticism in the tenor part. And then here we have even more chromatic movement, especially in the tenor and bass. Then a very dramatic part here where everybody is singing the same note. And then it breaks back into 4 parts again. And you wind up on this chord that is way outside of the key of F, but using this common tone of A, it jumps from this A major chord back to F. There's that chromatic thing in the tenor. And then here's another chord that's outside of the key of F, outside of the diatonic chords. And it goes straight from this version of the 5 chord, which is the 5 of 5, if you like. And then jumps right back to the tonic, and then a quick journey to the dominant, and then back to the tonic. Well, anyway, that's the tune. Now, if we were to play this very simply, you want to start by playing the tune. And then we're going to add the chords. So you can see that the first chord would be F. To play this in a simplified fashion, we're going to kind of eliminate some of all that, the chromatic stuff that's going on. Then the C7. And then here, we can go right to the D, D7, G minor, and then we could play the F major chord in second inversion, C7, back to F. Then here, we jump right to the A major chord, and then we can play these notes. So that goes from G minor to A, and then back to F. So that's a simplified version of O Little Town of Bethlehem. So here's your opportunity to play along. I'm going to play it through in this very simple arrangement, and you can follow along with me. So here we go. So that's the tune that just about everybody knows when we sing this particular carol. But let's look at the other tune. This is Forest Green. Let me get this hymnal out of the way here. Put that over there. This is the tune that was collected by and harmonized by the composer Ralph Vaughan Williams. I'll play it through for you. We're in the same key. Little bit of pause there. Now notice this is a simpler tune in some ways. It also doesn't have all the chromatic, romantic style of harmony in it. It's very, very straightforward. Now in the first tune, the St. Louis tune, the second line is very different from the first line. But here, the second line is basically a copy of the first line. And then in the third line, it goes into something a little bit different. But we're staying firmly within the key of F major, whereas the St. Louis tune was modulating from F to G minor and ending up on an A7 chord. This tune stays firmly in the key of F. Every chord is part of the diatonic chords that you're finding in the key of F. So this is the third line. Now notice what happens here in the fourth line. This measure is twice as long. Kind of gives you a little bit of a pause there, and then now we have this tune again. And then it's a little bit, well, it's actually the same. So let me show you how you might play this in a simple fashion. So you've got the tune. So we could just use the chord F major. And then go to C. B flat, C, F. So it's very simple now. Second part, we can throw in an A minor chord. Then go right to D minor and then to C. And then go from F to G minor to C. And then we're back to the beginning. All right, I'm going to play again, and you can play along with me now as we use the St. Louis tune. And you can even sing along if you like. And here is the fully harmonized version as arranged by Ralph Vaughan Williams. And you can sing along. All right, now, here comes the big question. Which tune do you like better? Do you have a preference? I do. But let me explain, first of all, the differences, once again, between these two tunes. The tune that everybody's familiar with, it's very romantic sounding with a lot of this chromatic movement. It's a very lush, very romantic melody. I think that's about the only way I can describe it, as romantic. The second melody I would describe as rustic, rough-hewn, simple, but yet I think it really fits the text. I mean, it just has that old folk tune sound. Very singable, very memorable. Actually, I think a little bit easier to learn, perhaps, than the other tune. So my preference, I have to admit, I like Forest Green. I prefer it over the other tune, which to me, and I may get in trouble for saying this, is just a little too sappy, a little too romantic sounding for my taste. I like this rustic tune. I mean, Bethlehem was just a rustic little village, and that's where Jesus was born. And this tune, to me, just seems to have more character as far as fitting with the poem, with the text. Now, just for fun, I'm going to play for you a tune that I wrote that actually fits this text as well. And this tune, I'm going to be very honest with you, is never going to catch on. It's never going to be famous because it is even more romantic and more crazy with chromaticism than the St. Louis tune for O Little Town of Bethlehem. But I'm going to play it for you anyway, just for fun. And you can try to sing with this one, but it's not an easy tune to sing. But let me know what you think. This is my version of O Little Town of Bethlehem. So you can see my sheet music here is from a long time ago, and this is actually music calligraphy. This is how I used to have to write out stuff before software programs, music notation software programs came along. So I actually did this with a quill pen and ink, and you can see that this thing is so old it's got some weird stains on the side of it there. But anyway, here's what it sounds like. First, I got a little introduction. And then the melody starts here. Well, there you go. That's my version of O Little Town of Bethlehem. I still like the Forest Green version. So I encourage you, try singing that one and see what you think. Let me know in the comments which version of O Little Town of Bethlehem you prefer. Now, of course, the text is the same in every single version, but the tune is different. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And I hope you have a blessed holiday season as we head towards Christmas and then on into the new year. And during this time, we'll be looking at a few more famous Christmas carols, talk about their history, analyze the tune, see if there are any alternate tunes that go with the text. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave those in the comment section below. I respond to every comment as far as I am able. And if you'd like to contact me directly, you can go to my website At Home with Music and fill out the contact form. I'll leave the links below. Thanks again. I look forward to speaking to you in the next one.